Good morning. I am here in my classroom. It is the first time I've been back in this place for over a month. But I kind of felt like this was where I wanted to come and talk to you about Silas Marner. And I'm going to start with just a few things about chapter 6 through 10 in Silas Marner. Three specific things. I mentioned in the last reflection, I think I did. I'm not sure. The chapter 6 is kind of odd because chapter 6 doesn't have anything to do specifically with the plot of the story. Silas Marner, in fact, doesn't appear in chapter 6. Chapter 6 takes place at the Rainbow, and we see kind of what the average working person is like in the city of Ravello, the village of Ravello. They are somewhat superstitious. They're somewhat aggressive in their conversations. They're basically, the Rainbow is a pub. They're hanging out after a hard day's work and they're drinking. And yes, significantly, Silas Marner is not there. He's not part of this community. In the first 5 chapters, as you saw, Silas Marner had kind of become a recluse. And so he was there in the village. He was known in the village, but he was not really part of the community. And that's going to continue a little bit. But because of the robbery, he's going to get drawn out of that. So what do we see in the Rainbow? We see all these hardworking men. And it's interesting when you finish the book and think back on this, I think it is kind of significant because the people in the Rainbow aren't unhappy. They're willing to work. They're willing to kind of make their way through life, and they seem somewhat satisfied. So yes, at the end of chapter 6, it's kind of ironic. They're talking about whether or not ghosts exist, and then Silas Marner appears, and he's pale because he's in shock because of this robbery that has just happened. He's been robbed, and he accuses one of the men, Jim Rodney, and everybody has to kind of calm him down and say, "Hey, that didn't happen." The second kind of thing I want to mention is specifically about that robbery. It has two effects. The first is it draws the attention of the whole village of Ravello back to Silas, and they become very interested in like what is going on with him, and they become fascinated with this mystery. We like mysteries, and so the mystery of who stole Silas's gold becomes a common discussion point, and they really want to figure it out. They also sympathize with him. They don't know Silas very well. He's that weird weaver guy and everything, but to have your money stolen, everybody kind of knows what it's like to lose something. And so they sympathize with him. They come and visit him. They invite him to church. Dolly Winthrop comes and visits and brings him stuff to eat. He becomes kind of more part of the community than he was before because of this great tragedy. Or at least he tries, or they try to get him to be part of the community. Silas, at the end of this section, has really sunk into a deep depression because, as we saw in the first 5 chapters, his whole existence was about collecting this gold and counting the gold and taking delight in it. And now that's gone. And so he sinks into a depression. Eliot calls it a withering desolation of bereavement. It is equivalent to somebody who has perhaps lost a loved one. He mourns in the same exact way that you would mourn a loved one. So obviously it has a detrimental effect on him. But don't worry, we're only halfway through the book, and I think things are going to get better for Silas. The last thing I want to mention is about Godfrey Cass. Chapter 8 and 9 deal with Godfrey Cass. He has to come clean that his brother has disappeared. Wildfire has disappeared. We know what happened to Wildfire. And then, Godfrey finds out that Wildfire is indeed dead. That he got staked. And so he pretty much assumes that this was done out of spite for some reason, by Dunstan. And so Godfrey takes that kind of big dramatic step of having to tell Squire Cass what happened to the money, Remember, Squire Cass loaned him some money, or like had him collect some money, and then Godfrey gave it to Dunstan, who then squandered it away. So yeah, it's kind of it's tense in the Godfrey Cass household. Now, what's kind of interesting is towards the end of this chapter, Squire Cass, the conversation with his father shifts, and Squire Cass pushes him and says, "Why haven't you married Nancy Lammeter yet?" We know why he hasn't married Nancy Lammeter yet. It's because he does have a secret wife. Nobody else knows that. But Squire Cass pushes him and says, "You're either going to do something or I'm going to do something. I'm going to basically set this wedding up." And that's creating a conflict. It's creating kind of something dramatic that's going to have to come forward. So as you continue reading, chapter 11 through 15 are hugely significant. And a lot is going to happen in those 5 chapters. You are going to see what changes, and so there's going to be a dramatic change coming for Silas, and there's also going to be kind of a dramatic change for Godfrey. It's about to get really good. I hope you're enjoying the book. Those are just my 3 points that I wanted to make on 6 through 10, and yeah, keep reading. We'll see you next time.